And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, somewhere from an undisclosed location deep in the heart of American flyover country. I'm Jeffrey Darty, the Christian whistleblower, coming to you maybe under the radar, but always over the top. If you have missed any of the episodes of Podcast Excellence we've been putting out lately, you've missed some things. Good stuff, powerful stuff, interesting stuff, and I can't wait for you to take advantage of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to embark on more Podcast Excellence. It's going to be some great stuff. Looking forward to it. People all the way from Osaka, Japan, tuning in, and very happy to have you here with us tomorrow at noon, which will be Wednesday, I believe, right? Tomorrow at noon will be Wednesday. I'll be joined by Ernst Wilhelm, who is the author of the Vedic software that Heidi Vandenberg uses. And he's also the author of the Cards of Truth, and we'll be talking about compatibility. And please don't get upset about YouTube ads. They allow us to keep bringing you podcast excellence. So just if you don't want to watch them, skip them. But let's not complain about the people that help pay our bills, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to have Ernst Wilhelm tomorrow. On Thursday, we'll have the one and only Halo Marquise. I'll be glad to have Halo with us again. He'll be here Thursday at noon. And then we've got all kinds of exciting stuff coming up for you. We got some great trips being planned as the springtime rolls out. I'll be speaking at the RexCon, the RexCon over in Colorado. There's rumors that Jay Campbell will also be there. Wouldn't that be an extravaganza? I think I'm planning a Black Hills Devil's Tower extravaganza as well coming up. So lots of great stuff. Of course, David Icke still to come on the channel. Lots of good stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to rock and roll. And tonight we're talking about the fear of the Lord being the beginning of wisdom. Are we scared smart, or are we just scarred by a fear and guilt control matrix? And let me just mention really quickly that if you have placed a Mistech order with me, that order has been fulfilled. That order has been processed. That order is good to go, unless, ladies and gentlemen, you've not sent me your donation to cover the cost. Of course, if you want to get the Mistech jewelry, which is what I wear, allows me to operate at a high level of optimization, you can click Mistech right here, or you can go down lower in the website. Go to the Mistech website right here, decide which product you want. And the only time that Plastic Jesus will ever help you out, ladies and gentlemen, is here. Go back to the website, click on Plastic Jesus, reach out and touch, fondle, dibble, do whatever you want. Just touch that sacred heart, and he'll take you to the 20% off Magic Mistech page. So just tell me what size you want, what color you want, give me your mailing address, give me the right name to send it to, and just like that, Plastic Jesus will rapture your Mistech straight via the U.S. Postal Service. So there you go. And all those orders have been fulfilled. Just amazing how many, probably, 10, 20 pages. And it's just me. So be patient with me. And let's go ahead and get right into the scripture. Let's talk about this idea of the fear of the Lord being the beginning of wisdom. Are we scared straight, or are we just scarred by a fear and guilt control matrix? I remember when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, there was this thing around that was called Scared Straight. And they would take kids, kids like my age that were thinking about drinking, thinking about, smoking marijuana and stuff, as we did back then. I know none of you do that now, but they would take you to prisons, and they would let you walk through, and I think they would encourage the prisoners to make, comments to you and get you to where you were actually scared straight. And that was the whole idea, was to put the fear into you so that you won't do drugs. And we can all look around at the billions of dollars of drugs pouring into the United States, and they're not pouring in here because nobody's buying them. So that kind of shows you how well Scared Straight worked on a practical basis. How does it work on a religious basis? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, ladies and gentlemen. Is it really? Let's look at this in depth. Because, maybe it doesn't really mean the fear, Jeff. Oh, yeah, it does. It means fear. Well, that's not really what we're talking about. Oh, that may not be what you're talking about, but that's what the word means. It means fear. Do you want to be in a relationship with a person that you fear? Do you want to be parented by someone that you fear? I mean, do you really, really want that? Do you want the worry that the lightning bolt is headed your way if you don't get everything just right? But yet, that's the way the Lord, and just so you are not mistaken to who that is, it's this guy, the artist known as Yahweh, because I don't think he really is Yahweh. I think he makes you think he's Yahweh, but this guy, also known as Marduk, also known as Jehovah, and also lovingly called by me the little rat bastard, little g rat bastard God. That's who it is. And he wants you to fear him. And I remember growing up on the playground, ladies and gentlemen. I remember growing up on the playground, and there'd always be the guys that would want to take your lunch money. I remember my best friend. Oh, this is so terrible, but it's so hilarious. There was these group of boys that would make him, they would take his lunch every day and they would make him give him money too. And if they didn't like what his mom made, they'd beat his ass. So he's at home crying to his mom, no, please, not peanut butter jelly. Make me ham. Make me turkey. Because those boys were going to whip his butt if he came with another peanut butter and jelly. And of course, moms, they're busy. They want to make peanut butter and jelly. She didn't realize he was getting his butt kicked and having to pay. Oh, that was funny. Jeff, why didn't you help him? Because there was like 5 of those kids and they were big. So we finally did rise above that. But that's the point, is that those kids had him in fear. And I'll tell you how we finally rose above them. Those kids had him in fear. And all of a sudden, one day we decided, because it got really serious, it's a recession when your neighbor loses his job. It's a depression when you lose your job. It's kind of funny. It's sad, but it's a little funny when your best friend gets his lunch taken and they want you to pay. It's a whole new situation when they start trying to pull that stuff on you. So we decided that we were just going to punch them right in the face. Now, I'm not advocating punching in the face, or am I? Because they came up and they grabbed our lunches and we were like holding out our lunch. You want this? And we brought one of these from down here. Bam! Right in the face. And guess what? The bullies backed down just like that, because they were all based in fear, ladies and gentlemen. They were all based in fear because they were bullies. And I'm telling you tonight that the God of the Bible, that's been killing babies and killing men and killing women, killing boys, killing girls, the guy that runs the fear and guilt control matrix, he's nothing but a bully. And if you hit him right in the nose, hit him right in the mouth, he'll back down. How do I know? Because I've been hitting him in the mouth every day for the last couple of 3 years. And here I am. The fear of this little g God is what he says is the beginning. And guess what? It is a beginning. When you give yourself into the fear of this Lord, it is a beginning. He says it's the beginning of wisdom. That's what the King James translators say. But what is it really? It's the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, of what he calls wisdom. What is it? What is it in the original Greek? Or this is Proverbs, the original Hebrew. It is it is what he would say acting wisely. It is what he would say dealing wisely. It is what he would say being skillful. Oh, it's the beginning of him teaching you his wisdom. I see. So the fear-based guilt matrix that Yahweh or the artist pretending to be Yahweh is instituted is a way that is based upon fear. Now you can live that way. We've been living that way for about 10,000 years. How's it working for you? Do you like the wars and the rumors of wars constantly? Do you like the bloodshed? Do you like the rape, the murder, the pillaging, the plundering? How do you like it? The world that you're living in is a world based on the fear of the Lord. And it's the fear of the Lord that builds this world that we live in. And then the knowledge, what's the knowledge? The knowledge is when you start to learn his ways and start to act like him. You start to incorporate his skills. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey me, monkey you. The knowledge of this one who calls himself the Holy One leads us to what he calls an understanding. That understanding is it's understood that you are in a fear and guilt control matrix. It's understood that if he says jump, you're going to say how high. It's understood that you are born with original sin. You've got to have salvation, and he is the only savior in town. And what makes you actually believe that garbage? Fear. You're so afraid of going to a place called hell that he made up that you're willing to give your life to some being that he made up to give you a sacrifice that you don't need to keep you from going to a place that doesn't exist. All so he can get this from you, fear, because he lives off fear. He feeds off fear. He grows off fear. Fear and money. That's all he wants. That's all he needs. And that's what his religion's designed to get you to give him. And if you do this for him, he loves you so much, ladies and gentlemen. If you will do this for the Lord, if you will fear him, if you will follow his wisdom, if you will replicate his wisdom, if you will model his wisdom, if you will spread his wisdom far and wide, he loves you so much, ladies and gentlemen. He really does. He loves you so much, just like I love beets. He loves you so much, ladies and gentlemen, just like I love ribeye steak. He loves you, ladies and gentlemen, just like I love to eat some dates. He loves you the same way I love those things because he eats you. He consumes you. That's how he lives. And he loves you so much that if you'll do what he says and give him what he wants, he will multiply your days on this earth. He will add years to your life. Sounds like he's doing you a solid, but what's he really doing, ladies and gentlemen? He's keeping you around longer. He's keeping you around longer so he can feed off of you longer. And I think this means that he's even going to multiply your lifetimes here. He's going to add years to your lifetimes here because he'll keep you coming back as long as you're stupid enough to go through the gate. Watch my last video. All gates are traps, including the pearly gates, including the 12 gates on the New Jerusalem. All the gates in the Bible, all the biblical gates are traps. And as long as you're willing to go through one, narrow one, straight one, wide one, broad one, whatever one you're willing to go through, he's willing to accept you and send you back and make some more money off of you and get some more energy off of you. And then he throws in the warning. But if you are wise, what does that word mean? If you are wise, let's look at this. But if you are wise, If you are wise, what's that mean? If you put some chakam on them, if you act wisely, if you become wise, if you begin to deal wisely, if you begin to make you wiser, if you begin to learn your own wisdom, if you begin to get wise, what? To your own advantage, what? He's telling you that you can actually get wise, ladies and gentlemen, to your own advantage. You can get wise to your own advantage. I don't know why that link isn't working, but you can get wise to your own advantage. Let's look at this in the regular, in a linear, Hebrews 9 or Proverbs 9:12. You can get wise for yourself. What? You can get, see, that link isn't working. Isn't that amazing? You can get wise for yourself. It's almost like someone doesn't want you to be wise for yourself. And if you scoff, if you have derision, if you want to interpret it yourself, if you want to say, get that cunt out of my face, if you want to say that, what's he say? You're on your own. You alone will bear it. Well, guess what, cousin? Let me be. I'm on my own. I don't need your gate. I'll blaze my own path. I don't need your gate. I'll blaze my own trail. I don't need your gate. I'll make my own way. I don't need your gate, because there's a way that leads to life and life more abundantly. There's some ways, there's some truths, they lead to life. Narrow gate, wide gate, water gate, pearly gate, don't need none of them. Don't need any of them. Gates are made by somebody else to destinations they've already selected. I'm divine. I'm sovereign. I'm free. I'm not going through any of your gates. And I'm not going to fear you. I fear nothing. I'm not going to fear you. I'm not going to quake. You may take our lives, but you will never take our freedom. I don't have blue on my face, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm divine. I'm sovereign. I'm free. And I am not going to worship a God that says the beginning of wisdom is to be in fear of him. I am not going to submit myself to any deity that says the beginning of wisdom is to be afraid of him. I'm not going to worship any deity that says the fear of him is the beginning of wisdom. Not going to do it. I will not live in fear. You know why I won't live in fear? Let me show you why I won't live in fear. Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, the God of Proverbs. Everybody loves Proverbs. It's even in the Gideon Bible that you find in the motels, usually. Proverbs. Everybody loves Proverbs. Everybody loves Psalms. Everybody loves the New Testament. Proverbs is so nice, they put it even in the New Testament. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Well, if you want that, you can have it. But I have another God, and this is the one that I choose to align myself, and the one that I choose to learn from, the one that I choose to look to and base my spiritual ascension and learning on, at least to a degree. And I want you to see the difference here between your God, who says fearing him is the beginning of wisdom. Well, my God says that God has not given us a spirit of fear. So I got a question for you. If God has not given us the spirit of fear, but Yahweh says fear is the beginning of learning him, then it looks like to me that Yahweh ain't God, because God has not given us the spirit of fear. And Yahweh says it's foundational to the understanding and working with Him, ladies and gentlemen. Foundational to working with and understanding Yahweh is fear. And yet, the true God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is just not the same. One of these things is not like the other. And they're using you to play a little game. God doesn't give you the spirit of fear. God doesn't give you the spirit of fear. Yahweh gives you the spirit of fear. And excuse me, I just like to ask a question. What does God need with a fear and guilt control matrix? I said, what does God need with a fear and guilt control matrix? God don't need one, cousin. Little g, fallen artists wanting you to think they're Yahweh. Little penny ante bully entities that have been fooling people for millennia, they need fear. Real gods don't need fear, and real men and real women don't need gods that need fear. It's time for you to give up on these gods of fear. It's time for you to punch a bully right in the face, or I guess you could just walk away. It's not quite as dramatic. It doesn't make as good a story, but you could just walk away. It's up to you, really. It's up to you. I will not serve a God of fear. I'm not giving my lunch to nobody, and I'm not paying nobody. I'm bringing it from back here, cousin. And I may take a whooping or two, but I'll never bow the knee to some bully deity. Not going to do it. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. I bring you this information to help you guide your own spirit, to help you be your own guru, to help you master your own ascension, to help you keep your lunch, and to help you keep your lunch money, and to help you say no to bullies. Really, I'm here. I always have been and always will be here to help you unindoctrinate yourself.